Hello everyone, I'm Isan. In this video, we'll be looking at the new Good Lock module update and its functionality on Samsung phones called Display Assistant. This module has just arrived and is currently in beta. This Display Assistant module is very useful for adjusting the screen display settings on Samsung phones so that they can be adjusted to your needs and usage. There are several settings in this Display Assistant module that you can use to make your Samsung phone's battery more efficient and durable, and can be used for longer durations. Okay, now let's go straight to discussing what features and settings we can change with this new Display Assistant module. For this Display Assistant module, you can directly download it from the Good Lock application from the Galaxy Store, and then you can directly install the Display Assistant module inside it. For the first feature, there is the App Screen Timeout feature. This feature allows us to set a specific screen timeout for each application. We can change the screen timeout setting according to the desired duration according to our needs, and the settings can be differentiated from other applications. For example, for the Google Chrome application, we set the screen timeout to 10 minutes and Samsung Internet to 1 minute. So when you open the Google Chrome app, the screen will automatically dim after 10 minutes if it's not touched. Meanwhile, the Samsung Internet app will immediately dim and turn off the screen after 1 minute of not touching the screen. And here we can also select other applications and we can change the duration for each application according to our needs. Then for the screen timeout setting, there is also an auto dim feature. This auto dim feature functions to dim the screen automatically when activated. And for this auto dim feature, we can also activate and change the settings for each application only. We can activate auto dim feature if you want to dim the screen a few seconds before the screen timeout runs. After setting the screen timeout for each application, the display will look like this. The time duration will appear according to the application we have selected. For the activated auto dim feature, the icon of the application for which we activated auto dim will also appear. Then secondly, there is also a keep screen on feature. This keep screen on feature functions to keep the screen on for 30 minutes. So if the default screen timeout feature of 10 minutes is still not enough for your use, there is a keep screen on feature that you can activate from the Display Assistant module, which makes the screen active for 30 minutes. So if you want to activate the screen without having to touch it continuously for 30 minutes, you can activate this keep screen on feature. To activate this keep screen on feature, you can add a quick setting button to add the setting button to the quick panel. You just select add and later the option will appear from the quick panel. And when you need to activate the screen for 30 minutes, you can immediately activate keep screen on feature from the quick panel. This keep screen on feature also has several limitations, such as the feature will not be active if the battery is below 15%. And this keep screen on feature will also not be active when the phone is restarted or when turning off the phone screen with the power button. So for this keep screen on feature, it will immediately deactivate automatically when we press the power button. Then thirdly, there's also a brightness limit profile setting. For this brightness limit profile setting, there are standard default settings and there are also light ones. For this standard setting, it's like the phone's default setting that will limit the brightness on the phone when the phone's temperature gets too hot and increases drastically. So when the phone gets too hot, for example when it's under the hot sun, especially when recording a video with a high resolution of 4K, sometimes the phone will immediately dim automatically because the standard feature is activated. So when the phones get too hot, the brightness can no longer be maximized with the standard setting. Meanwhile, for the light setting in this latest feature, we can keep the brightness high even though the device temperature is increasing. So this is suitable for those of you who want the screen to remain bright even though the device's temperature is increasing. So if you don't want the brightness to be limited when the phone's temperature is increasing, you can activate this light setting with the latest update from the Display Assistant module. Previously, the default standard setting was an option that could not be changed before this Display Assistant module is available. And now there is a light option for those of you who don't want the brightness to be limited even though the phone's temperature is increasing. Then the next feature is the Adaptive Brightness Options feature. In this setting, there is a brightness change speed feature that we can change from 1, 2, or 4 times. The brightness change speed feature allows you to adjust the screen brightness change rate when moving from a bright to a dark environment or vice versa. You can choose the speed from 1, 2, or 4 times. If you want to speed up the brightness change when moving from a bright to a dark environment on your Samsung phone, you can increase the speed to 2 or 4 times. This way, when you move from a dark to a bright environment or vice versa, the brightness change will happen more quickly. The font's brightness setting will usually adjust based on your usage. For example, in a bright environment, if you often lower the brightness setting will usually be adjusted automatically and slightly lowered even in a relatively bright environment. The brightness usage behavior settings will be saved in the font settings upon initial use. If you want to change these settings to suit your specific behavior or usage, you can reset them from the latest settings. Select Reset Usage Pattern at the bottom and the brightness settings will return to the default settings and will no longer reflect the previous behavior. The settings will then adjust based on future usage. So for those of you who want to reset the previous brightness usage, you can select Reset Usage Pattern. Next, there's also the standard refresh rate app setting. This feature allows us to set the refresh rate to 60Hz for certain applications only. So for applications that may not require 120Hz or a high refresh rate, we can add the applications to this standard refresh rate list. So when using an application on this list, the screen will automatically change to 60Hz. Then finally, there's also the screen current feature. The screen current feature allows us to turn off the phone screen without stopping the process of the application that is running. The appearance is similar to the always on display, but the function is slightly different. This feature is suitable for those of you who want to run applications such as playing videos or podcasts, but only want to listen to the audio without having to activate the screen. Or maybe you want to listen to songs without looking at the screen. We can activate this screen current feature and the application that is running will remain active in the background. With the display screen looks like always on display. For the screen current application, we can activate it when watching Netflix videos and only want to listen to the audio. Or it can also be used in the Spotify application. Unfortunately, this app also cannot be activated when there is an incoming call or while playing games. This feature also cannot be activated when watching videos on the YouTube application and cannot be activated in the YouTube Music application. Maybe this feature cannot be activated because there is a special collaboration between Samsung and Google. So the YouTube app cannot run in the background because it is a YouTube Premium feature. However, for other apps like Netflix or Spotify, the screen current feature can be activated easily. If there is anything unclear, you can directly ask in the comment section down below. Or you can directly DM us on Instagram @Santertainment. And you can also directly chat in our Telegram channel @Santertainment Global. Hope you found this video helpful. See you in the next one.